I got something to say. I'm here with Pastor Jay and Brian Marco Johnson and or Mark Johnson, right? Is that wrong? How you say it? Mark Johnson. And we're doing a live show today. We're talking about different things: relationships, vision, music. We really don't have a real set agenda, but we're just gonna flow with it. So I'm gonna play one song, and after that one song, we're gonna get into our just this podcast, and hopefully you guys will be blessed by it. Matter of fact, I'm telling you guys will be blessed by what we are going to be talking about today. I'm really excited to be home in Virginia, so this is our Virginia show, and let's just have a good time today. Hope you guys are ready. I'm gonna play Clouds by Triple E. Okay. Again, it's our show that we're doing in Virginia. Let's do this.
Hey, this for all the dreamers. Yo, so woke up in the morning feeling like $1 million. Allen can't nobody establish no lie. I'm more. I'm dreaming back the way I'm back to conquer all the monsters in my way. I'm feeling like I'm on fire. I love the feeling when you're walking and you're calling. Ain't no turning back. I'm all and I ain't finished. Just watch. I'm more. Probably ain't no ceiling. Don't be silly. Ain't no stealing when I'm in. Cause homie, this is my spot. My spot. Way up in the clouds like I'm on one. Way up in the clouds like I'm on. Way up in the clouds like I'm on one. Way up in the clouds like I'm on. Woke up from sleep and I'm tired. No way I wanna get up, I'm leaving my eyes. Like a safe, then I think of my dreams and I'm wide. Awake is like a light and a beacon inside. For me to be honest, last year was a blur. I had a dream, but it was deferred. I caught a beat and I'm eating the dirt. Wondering where the dreams were seeking to merge. Let's go. But that's the way dreams go. They hurt before they heal. If you ain't know, they take before they give. Casinos, they kill before they live. Casinos, desires to stay far and away. I've seen those fires that's never catching the blaze. I've seen those, but it's something in my soul. They can't stop running at 100 to the goal. Woke up in the morning feeling like $1 million. Allen can't nobody establish no lie. I'm more. I'm dreaming back the way I'm back to conquer all the monsters in my way. I'm feeling like I'm on fire. I love the feeling when you're walking and you're calling. Ain't no turning back. I'm all and I ain't finished. Just watch. I'm more. Probably ain't no ceiling. Don't be silly. Ain't no stealing when I'm in. Cause homie, this is my spot. My spot. Way up in the clouds like I'm on one. Way up in the clouds like I'm on. I'm on. Way up in the clouds like I'm on one. Way up in the clouds like I'm on. I'm on. Way up in the clouds like I'm on one. Way up in the clouds like I'm on. I'm on. Way up in the clouds like I'm on. Way up in the clouds like I'm on. Guess I need another plan. My other one is covered under sand. Very light, second day, son of man. I don't understand. Another dream is deferred and it's a nightmare now. I thought it was destiny, I got fear now. Piece of what's left together, I ain't clear now. No piece of this mess from him, I gotta hear now. Hear now. Cause man, I don't know what's even coming from the sky no more. Hell was coming from his head, I don't know. Cause I don't feel like I can fly no more. But I can't forget the motto. No more mediocre, just getting battle. I've been his image, I've been down for a minute, but I'm getting up today and I'm a fight till I'm finished. Woke up in the morning feeling like $1 million. Allen can't nobody establish no lie. I'm more. I'm dreaming back the way I'm back to conquer all the monsters in my way. I'm feeling like I'm on fire. I love the feeling when you're walking and you're calling. Ain't no turning back. I'm all and I ain't finished. Just watch. I'm more. Probably ain't no ceiling. Don't be silly. Ain't no stealing when I'm in. Cause homie, this is my spot. My spot. Way up in the clouds like I'm on one. Way up in the clouds like I'm on. I'm on. Way up in the clouds like I'm on one. Way up in the clouds like I'm on. I'm on. Way up in the clouds like I'm on one. Way up in the clouds like I'm on. I'm on. Way up in the clouds like I'm on one. Way up in the clouds like I'm on.
We back on the show again. We talking about relationships. I'm talking about relationships as far as in our role and our position as being, or just relationships, period. And where are we standing? And so I'm saying that one of my issues with people in the church or people like I'm just waiting for the Lord to really send me the right one, or I'm just waiting for God to give me, and I'm like, well, the man, you're supposed to be the one to hunt, he who finds. So your job is to find. There's something that you like in a woman. Like, let's be honest, you might like whatever
hips,
that
lips,
is.
fingertips.
Yes, you might like that. It's okay. It's okay to like that. It's no.
Look at what the Lord has done.
Yeah, you know, worship God. Thank you, Jesus, for. Oh my Lord. Yeah, come on. And I'm a married man, so I have certain things my wife she has that I like.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and as a man in society, Brian, Mark, you're actually single, but there's certain things that we know. We talked about it last night actually that certain things you like. Now I'm not going to ask you to share those things because then it might be somebody taking notes.
Reveal the playbook. Don't reveal the playbook.
And you're like, what is going on? So, but what is my question to you? Because that's on my heart, relationships right now. Because another thing is that courting and dating. Some people have their views on courting and dating. What do you feel about courting and dating, Brian?
I feel like it's kind of to each his own type of thing. I mean, if that's something that you want to do, then do it. I don't see anything wrong with dating. I know that some people will say that dating isn't biblical, that it's not in the Bible. But then at the same time, there's other things that aren't in the Bible that we still do. So I'm okay with both, with either one.
Would you court?
Yeah.
What about prearranged marriage?
Well, certainly God can do anything. I don't believe He would. To me, a prearranged marriage would be to cancel out our individuality.
Yeah.
To say that you betrothed to somebody before you get to know them would say that you don't trust God's uniqueness in creating you. So I mean, my wife and I, we joked about it, even with our sons and stuff, like, okay, he gonna marry this one right here. But in the end of the day, you love who you love.
Yeah.
And I'm not a supporter of that prearranged stuff, man. I do have a question for you, Mark. You said something. Would you think, is there a difference between dating and courtship?
Absolutely. I think courtship, you've kind of committed yourself to that other person already.
Okay.
And I think dating, you're kind of trying the waters. You don't, if for sure you can kind of pull out on dating.
Yeah.
On courting, it's like, nah, it's like you done met the parents. We done set this up.
You put a down payment.
Right. We don't put a down payment on it. We're going through with that one.
Wow. I can see that.
On the other hand, you said that just now. I remember one of my good friends who was actually on the way. Hopefully, he started courting, and I remember when we were going through the process, his girl had to meet me first. I'm his best friend.
Yeah.
His girl had to meet me first because she wanted to ask some questions. If anyone knows him, I'm his homie. You know what I'm saying? So she asked me some questions. What about him that I don't know? What is it that? Why are you guys best friends?
Wow.
And that helped out the process of saying this guy might be the guy or maybe not. And he had to talk to her, her best friend too. I ain't gonna lie, I like that.
I mean, was that something that they mutually agreed on?
They agreed on courting, and there was different things. They were in a book. I forgot what the book's called, but they were actually going through the different process. He had to meet the parents. He had to be with the parents, and like the parents would have to sit down with him alone. And the same thing for her with his parents, and so they get to know each other. And then it was the siblings, and then the best friends. So like. Wow. You had to go through all this process, and then you would come back and say, okay, it helps you to actually look at like, you know what, I don't know, this guy might have something that's not really good. And I remember, her talking to me. About my friend, and trying to figure it out. Now on that part of the courtship, I do like. I'm not saying I agree with the whole thing of courtship or not. But what I do like is that that was a process that you had to go into. So then that way, like, even if, like, as a best friend, I can, like, hey, dude, she asked some questions. No. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't agree with that at all. I don't really care. She might be, You know what I'm saying? I like that part.
But I agree with that. I like that, too. But are we really being honest when we do that? Because what if? Okay, I was just thinking about Brian's mom. I know Brian's mom. If they went, if somebody he's ready to move into that courtship state sits with his mom, and for some reason and his mom says, I don't think she the one. What do you take that under advisement? Do you rebuke the devil? What? You know what I'm saying? I mean, what if the person that you go through this interview, you go through these different steps, and somebody said, no, I don't think. Do you drop that like that? That's kind of that razor's edge. You know?
Yeah.
Are you willing to subject to that?
I would say this. So I've actually had an experience of my own life and in my own situation where my mama did say, no, she ain't the one, and I was like, Mama, you just don't know what you're talking about. But as Frank said, I'm sitting here single right now. So I think at the end of the day, it's like, as a parent, you probably know your son better than anyone does. Mm-hmm. You probably know your daughter better than anyone does. So I do think that there is something valuable in getting someone close to you opinion, especially like a mother, and in a sense a friend. But then you may be right on that. There might be like, man, like she just don't see what I see. You know, I really do care about this person the whole 9 yards. So I don't know.
Wow. It's funny you said that because my friend in college, when we were in college, I had friends who it was like a pact. It was an unspoken thing, but it was me, my friend Avery, Charles, and now my wife. You know, she was like the only girl in the group. You know, but she was one of the fellas, and we all like vetted the other spouses. To this day, you know, Avery's married to Denise, Charles is married to Jennifer, but we like vetted, and we wanted the input from each other. You know, now Denise, she said I was a little hard on her. You know, because I drug it out a little bit. I said, well, you know, we'll get you the results in 2 to 3 weeks. But by that time, though, and I wonder, is it a time issue? Because by that time, you know, when they brought them to the group, they had spent time with them. You know, the courtship was already in full bloom. You know, this was almost like the last background check. You know what I'm saying? You know, and so I wonder, is it with, and maybe you can speak to it, is that situation that your friend had, was it immediate? Was it overtime? Can you
as far as in like his decision?
when they sat down, when they sat with their parents, when he met with her friend,
they wanted to be, and I think they started dating. They had started talking, and then they said, "Hey, we want to court." And then, okay, here's the process of courting. I think that they had to meet with each other pastors, and then it was immediate actually, and then you had to meet with the parents, and then the siblings, and then the best friend, and the whole time you get to have time. And there was times where they couldn't, you know, it was you can't talk after 9 o'clock, things like that. It was like a strict little regiment, you know, a regimen. I think that's the word.
Now, was this something they imposed on themselves, or was this part of that program?
That was part of the book.
Okay.
But it was a Christian courtship. This is how we're gonna do it, setting up. Let's try to do it this way, in a way that, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Is that you answering your question?
Yes, sir.
So I think that it was actually immediate. It was like immediate. They were like, okay, this could be, and I think that, you know, both of them kind of like, man, this might be the one. You know what I'm saying? And we don't want to do this relationship like the other relationships.
Exactly.
And I think that, yeah.
Okay. See that I don't know. We just organic. We just flowing with this because, you know, we both know. We all know. That's almost like an anomaly. Mm-hmm. That relationship, you know, that the approach to that is like the way it should be. Mm-hmm. But we all know it's not always that case. What do we do in those situations? What do we do? Okay, we at the club. Let's talk. We meet each other at the club. I like what she had on. You know, she appealed to my eye, and we start dating. You know, and we say, well, we think this might work. None of that program